We are live. Well, hello everyone and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. And here we are, it's HoGaLe's. We are back for another week of intrigues, ups and downs, round and rounds, and and just absolutely everything that has been going on. We have here on what is on my top right, we've got Lady G, of course. And so a little wave, and of course we've got Lena, literally quite down under in terms of this.
Yes, here I am down under. That's right. And I'm wearing my Marley love beads. I'm very
beautiful. Oh,
they were a birthday present.
Oh, lovely, fabulous. And just when we're off screen, we were just talking about kind of Gran Canaria stuff, and I was just saying how strange this little island is. It's very kitsch. Let's just put it that way. It's very kitsch with a tiny bit of glamour thrown in. But one thing I wanted to share very quickly, we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about today. Actually, let's introduce the show. So we are going to talk about Dark L'Orange, a bit of Putin, some DeSantis, the GOP, I know they're the GOP, the GOP. And then we've got a bit of astro weather and stuff like that. In fact, I'll leave the astro weather and I'll tell you this little tidbit about being here in Gran Canaria. So, ladies, are we ready to start the show?
Yeah. Somebody's saying happy birthday, Lena. Is it your birthday?
Oh, thank you, Cindy. No, it was a while ago.
Oh,
yeah, no, don't worry. But I love the beads.
Oh, I see. Because you're August, aren't you, Lena? I think you're August.
No, I'm a Sag. I'm the end of November.
Belated happy birthday. We missed it.
Well, I only do decades now, let me tell you.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna add something to that, but I will leave it there. I will leave
it right there.
Okay, so first questioning, and I thought we'd go straight to Russia, and I thought let's do a dial-in with old Putineska, old Putinska, and see what's going on. Someone was saying in the comments, I would not been able to verify for myself, but they were saying Zelensky is suggesting, or was suggesting, that Putin is no more. Now, personally, I think he's still alive, but because there's this speculation and what have you, let's just do a read. Let's do an update on just how he's doing, because it's still going a bit pear-shaped, isn't it? So let's just do a dial-in and just ask what's going on with Putin as a show opener, and then we'll progress on to other things.
Okay, and I want to say a special shout out to Dawn Harris. She's from Brisbane. I'm a Brizzy girl. Well, actually, Redcliffe. Hi. Okay.
Voila. And welcome to everyone who is joining the show as well live.
So we're doing Putinska in general.
In general, what's going on with you in general? Oh, and I just wanted to add, one or two people complained about, when I do the click and I put the comments up, and I had a bit of a whinge, all opinions are welcome. But the reason why I click up the comments is just to honor the fact, that people do join the show live and they interact live. So when I put the clicks up, it's a thank you for those that are joining us and that contribute to the show.
Absolutely.
So just wanted to say that.
Okay.
Putineska. What is going on with Putineska sauce?
Now, while we're shuffling, he has a very tight relationship with the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, called the Patriarch of the Church. Very good name, isn't it? Really tells you everything.
Wow.
To the extent, I didn't know this till recently, that the Russian nuclear arsenal, wherever it's housed, has the Russian Orthodox symbol on top of the nuclear weapon.
I mean, that's dark, isn't it? That's dark.
It is dark.
Gosh. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, look at this. Interesting. Muy interesante, as they would say in Spanish.
Good.
Who would like to go first?
Do you want to go, Lady G?
Sure, I'll go. In the center, we have the lovers. So those that are involved with him, they're looking deeper. It looks like they're pulling away because of the persecution, the things that he's doing. It's not looking good for him. So going into it, we have the Tower, the government, and what's the gift that's coming out of it now is more light. I think it's just more information coming out about what he's doing. The expectation is that this stuff is going south, okay, when it comes for his being able to be in leadership, because the challenge is the court of public opinion, and that it's cold, it's getting colder, tempering with the contract. He's not doing well with the people. And the marriage, when it comes to Mother Russia, they see him as a dark entity with that he's just ego driven. And so he's losing power. People are, they're not having it anymore. They're really turning away from him because the more that comes out about what he's doing with Ukraine, etc., and the Russian government, the more they are unhappy with him.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Lena, what do you have?
Well, I kick off with all the illusions, illusion, delusion, confusion, which is, I think, you only need that card, really, wouldn't you? It's sort of all so unclear about that. Now, check these three cards. He's taken a few hits and he's wounded. Then he comes back and launches another attack, an invasion on somewhere. And then he has to defend it again. So if you look at those cards together, they're all combative cards, Every day is exhausting. There are plans afoot to actually oust him, and I think that's part of the confusion too. Yeah.
I got the same.
What happened in the old days? Dictators, when they got into trouble, they just flew off to Switzerland or Mozambique or something. Now they hang in to the end. But there is confusion over how they're going to get rid of him. In the meantime, he's still got a vestige of control. This is the King of Cups. Nice when it's Biden's card, not nice when it's his, an emotionally manipulative man. So we know that people are afraid to tell him the truth. And once that happens, it never ends well.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm still waiting for them to play Swan Lake on Russian state TV, because that's how it used to be, apparently. Like when the dictator was dead, they would, instead of saying it, they would play Swan Lake. So,
and it was code.
It was code for like the leader is dead. So of course you would have the dying swan, So they would play Swan Lake as a metaphor. So I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for someone from the Kirov or the Bolshoi Ballet to be doing split jumps and stuff like that. So what cards do I get? So look, just symbolize it. Although I get the Six of Swords as well. So look, you know what? He wants to run away from this. Of course he can't say it. He wants to run away from this. He's like, this is a nightmare. All the reports are coming out that it's not going well. What's crossing it? In terms of the obstacle card. Look at this. 9 of Swords. He really is worried. This is quite literally a nightmare. We don't even have to put any sophisticated spin on this. This is it. It's a nightmare, isn't it? You can just see a nightmare for him. I think it's also costing him a lot of money. Yeah, look at that. The old Nine of Pentacles has come out reversed. This is when it's the right way up. You're comfortable. Everything is going how you want. You're the hostess with the mostess, all that stuff. No, this is, look, the canapes are dry. The purse is empty. You know, the working girl is kind of running out of money and he's not comfortable. Yeah, it's the opposite of comfort. The opposite of comfort. His messaging at home is starting to go wrong. Look at this, Knight of Cups. It's gone sour. When it's this way, it's the enticing, the seductive promise, isn't it? He comes in on his riding horse, almost
the great Russian nation.
Exactly. It's soured. Even Russian state TV are now increasingly letting drip, you know, and drop certain things. So the message is souring. Because obviously, you know, if you've got how many millions of people that have left the country, you can't really keep that a secret for so long.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It literally,
exactly. And also, this is the mobile phone generation. So the young conscripts, even though they're forbidden to have their phone and they keep getting found out and shot up because they have their phone, but they are ringing their mothers and their uncles and people and saying what is going on, you know, like not enough food, nowhere to sleep, no change of clothes, you know, the equipment isn't there. It's not like the might of Russia carries all before it, that it's like he has actually killed the might of Russia with this last folly.
Yeah,
absolutely. And guess what? This card says exactly what you've just said. Pages are youth, 5 of Wands, passion, but Page of Wands in particular is about what? Fiery messages. So here you are, you've got the youth who are what? Turning against him. This is the element of fire, which is associated with war. So that completely actually exactly articulates what you've just mentioned. It's going south. And then I pulled some clarifiers. We got the Knight of Cups again. So again, the messaging. 10 of Pentacles turns up. Big money. This is getting expensive for him. I know he's still selling his whatnots and whatever, but war is expensive. Money might be an issue, or even the establishment here. 10 of Pentacles can also talk about the establishment and I think the illusion as well of the happy family and everything's hunky-dory is not cutting through anymore. So interesting. Anything else to add to that, ladies, before we move on to the next question?
Yeah, what I got when you pulled the cards was his cushy life is over, and then he's no longer riding the horse bare-chested anymore. Now he's totally suited up in the armor.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally. No more bare-chested wrestling bears. And he has all the money in the world, but it's no good to you at a certain point if you do not have other things in life.
Indeed. And God, you just reminded me actually of you know, him on the back of the horse. I would say his bra size is probably what would you say, a B cup?
48 double D. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there was quite a lot going on there. I was like, Putin, you sure you want that out of doors? But hey, never mind, you know.
And the people of Ukraine who have stood up to the might of Russia, when they were just living lives until a year or so ago, they were just living lives, modern lives, you know, getting on with things, having a plan. And they've been so magnificent.
Yeah, they've been astonishing. And one day the rebuilding will come. As horrible as it is, it will come, and Ukraine will actually be much stronger for it. Oh, you've just reminded me as well, a tiny bit of astro weather. On the 22nd of April, 2023, Jupiter is going to change signs and it's going to go into sidereal Aries. Aries is the sign of war and conflict and stuff like that, but it's going to be in Ashwini Nakshatra, which is speed, moving on. I'm anticipating it could be the situation in Ukraine could come to a peak at that point. Either it's just going to escalate completely off the scale, or it's going to, some kind of finality is going to come. So watch out for that as well. Things could literally start heating up as well in terms of temperature. Right. Okay, so let's go to question number 2. Now, this is a Duck L'Orange one.
Just a moment. I'd like to thank people for their donations. That's very kind. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I should actually click up. So thank you, Harry, Harry Bunn, LJS, thank you. And Catherine Winston, thanks for reminding me, ladies there. So Duck Larange, yeah. He is back on, well, technically he's been invited back. We know he's back on Twitter, but he's been invited back on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. So now Nick Clegg was supposed to be the one that sanctioned this. Now, for those that don't know who Nick Clegg is, he is a former he's a British politician, used to be the leader of the Liberal Democrat Party, went in coalition with the Tories and sold his soul. That's the long short of it. And I'm guessing Facebook need the money. Yeah. It's the only thing I can think of. So the question is, will this help Duck Larange's campaign?
Is it even a campaign? Apparently he had an event in New Hampshire and there were so few people, and he kept referring to, I wanted to keep this small, but next time I'm going to have a big rally. This is a desperate man.
Intimate rally. Yes.
Wow. I don't know. Maybe he can start doing his rallies virtually on Facebook and Instagram.
Look. Let's have a look. I'm going to get my circus cards out for this because I think it's one of those.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Hello, Patricia. Let's see here. I'll just click through while I'm having a shuffle. So we've got lots of hellos coming through. Hello, Julie. And I'll keep scrolling down. Right. Will this help his campaign? Obviously, Facebook need the money because you know what? We know how terrible Duck Larange is, but he is clickbait. Yeah, that's the reality. The media, you'll notice everything he's posted on Truth Social, they still kept on talking about. Yeah, because he's clickbait in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But my sense of it too is that is fading.
Yeah.
Overall, that's my vibe, that he just doesn't have the cachet he used to.
Will this help?
We'll see.
Campaign?
Will I go? I've got it.
Go for it. Go for it.
All right. He's now been unleashed back on the world. Here's the Republican elephant, or Duck Larange himself. All right. I love this. But as you can see, the elephant is balancing on a very, very small thing. He was thrilled because I'm going to be a star again. Because he knew he was getting buried alive in Truth Social. But he falls off. I love these cards. I don't use them often enough. Whoops, he falls off the high wire and ends up back being a hermit. And this is a hermit hobo. This isn't a distinguished Dumbledore type hermit, right? This is Hoboville. No disrespect to hobos. Many of them would have much more to offer the world than Duck Larange. But this is not a successful media superstar here.
Wow. Looks a bit like a damp squib, doesn't it, with those cards? Lady G, what do you have?
Well, at the center of it, I have, at the house, he's got these delusions of grandeur as usual, that this is going to be strengthening because it's, the latest con for his path forward, what he's choosing to walk. But going into it, this is what he's working on. And the challenge of it is the new opportunity. But we know with him, this is about his past efforts and his, again, trying to weave and produce with the Repugly Uglies. but he's in illusion and delusion, shopping the delusion shop that he is still emperor, okay? That he thinks he's going to be emperor and king, and it's just falling flat. He's not going to be there long. He will be ousted yet again.
Yeah.
Because you know he can't keep his mouth shut. It's
yeah, verbal diarrhea. I've got similar cards. I've got similar cards as well, and so here, I think this really does exemplify exactly what's been going on with him since the tide has turned. Let's put it that way. Dr. Orange is holding on. Yeah, the Yeti is holding on to every string of hair and strand that he has. Yeah, because this is not a card necessarily of comfort. It's certainly not one of affluence. You're having to conserve your resources, be very tactical, strategic, quite literally strategic, even stingy with your resources. Yeah. So here he's not feeling opulent or affluent, and he just has to keep his eyes out. Yeah, because there's obviously the knives are out for old Dr. Orange. Look at the next card, the obstacle card. Couldn't be more appropriate, could it? Here it is, the devil. Yeah. So I mean, this is, as we know, this is not only corruption, it can also deal with ill health, mental disturbance, psychosis, but also as well, this is the aspect as well of being attached to things, codependency. So when we look here, it's almost like Dr. Orange is it's almost like he's still trying to cast his old evil spells, but it's not quite getting the same juice out of them as before. Maybe people are actually starting to unchain themselves from Dr. Orange. I think this is what's happening, because here in this card, the people can unchain themselves at any point. Secrets, intrigue, more is going to come out. Yeah, not that. I mean, we've pretty much seen it all already.
Do we need any more?
So exactly, do we need any more? So is this a bit of a flavor of the DOJ, or is this Fannie Willis? Yeah, is she gonna let rip and unleash? Someone has to at some point, because for me it's almost like, look, all the secrets are out. I think we're pretty much unshockable by this stage. You never know. He could still have something. Maybe he's going to come out with a new set of what were those cards? Those Comic-Con cards?
Oh yeah, what were they? NFTs or something?
Maybe something for the Christian right to try and win them back. Yeah, maybe he'll bring himself back as evangelical Jesus. Who knows? Looky here. There it is.
Same as Putin.
Same as Putin. He is not comfortable. I think when it look for me, look, I'm sure it's the same with everyone. I want to see people in jumpsuits now. Yeah. I'm tired of the window dressing and the preamble and all the media foreplay that's going on. Like, for me, I'm just like, right, this is it. We need to see people in jumpsuits. But anyway, either way, I think when it does hit him, it's going to be more to do with his money and his taxes, really. That's how I'm interpreting that, particularly as well. If we look here, my outcome card, and I pulled a clarifier as well. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. So again, you see these themes around money. He's desperately, look how closely, the Queen of Pentacles is looking at that coin.
Yes.
Yeah?
Where did that pentacle come from? She's thinking.
Exactly. And she's also as well, I don't want to lose that coin as well. But I pulled a clarifier. Look at that. It's the Tower.
Oh, yeah.
So I think all our cards are saying something similar. For me, I think it's going to be more of a financial and tax ruin for Dr. Orange. But let's see what happens. Anything else to add to that, ladies?
Well, yeah. What I'd like to say at this point generally is I would like to see Dr. Orange's role is to attack DeSantis, because I don't think we're going to see Trump back. The problem is DeSantis looks like a ready-made cutout ready to go for the GOP, and lots of people who don't follow politics and know how bad this man is will go, oh, well, you know, he's younger than Trump and he's this hard line, and it's a real problem. So my treasured dream is for the Yeti to survive long enough to demolish DeSantis and then both of them fall over.
Yeah,
That's what I was hoping.
with that. Now, what I got with it was, you know, all the narcissists are going the same way at the moment. They're all in their way down.
Yes.
And then you pulled the holding on, and that was the cancer melanoma is trying to squirrel away funds.
And also the same things happened to Elon Musk. You know, all the money in the world, and he's now thinking, oh God, I'm going to have to sell this back and I'm going to lose 150 billion, but I'm sick of it and I can't deal with it. It's not working out so well for your day-to-day billionaire.
Yeah.
In fact, he's lost so much money, he hit the Guinness World Book of World Record for the most amount lost. I think it was 140 odd billion. Someone let us know in the comments, but he basically broke the previous Guinness World Record for
Awesome.
amount of money lost.
And yeah, if someone can let us know in the comments about that. And also the Yeti, before he was president, he won a sort of title like that. I think he lost the most in 10 years or most in one deal or something. He had a record all of his own.
Yeah.
So if anyone can find either of those.
Indeed. Right, let's quickly I just want to chime in quickly with a bit of astro weather, just so we can see, because as you guys know, a few weeks ago, I predicted that Saturn would start pulling his levers and really start bringing some extreme cold temperatures around the world. Now, when I actually made that video, he'd actually pulled the lever already. Actually, and that's when we had the cold plunge in America. But of course, there's many other countries in the world. I'm sure everyone is aware of the searingly cold temperatures that are happening in the north of China and North Asia in general. Have you heard about this? I'll quickly read off. So what is considered China's North Pole has now got freezing temperatures of minus 53. Minus 53. Which is a record for them. Yeah, they say on Sunday it could reach minus 63.4, which is just, I mean, you may as well be on the dark side of, you may as well be on the dark side of Neptune somewhere or whatever. This is really, really cold temperatures, really cold. So they've had to cancel lots of flights in Japan because they've had so much snow. Afghanistan, tragically, it's making the humanitarian situation there worse, and they've lost over 70,000 of livestock have died in the field. And this is happening all across North Asia. So there's really starting to talk now a lot about climate change and stuff like that. So I just wanted to say, look, this is that effect of Saturn that I was talking about. He's in his coldest sign, Aquarius, and there will be more such events before the spring comes. All right, let's look at DeSantis. Oh, God. And we'll do a bit of Shakespeare on him, by the way, because a few people are asking. So here we are, the DeSantis book banning / auditing in Florida. Oh my God. Karen Randall has also asked a question as well, and what she said, she said, why aren't the Republicans only going after public schools and not private ones? My instant reply to that is that because they want everyone to be serfs. Yeah, that's why.
Yes, exactly. Medieval serfs. Indentured to them, yeah, paying for everything.
Oh, absolutely. So the question is, where will this lead for education in Florida and possibly the US in general? Yeah, this book banning, auditing BS. And then we'll ask Shakespeare.
Oh, someone has that figure. Musk has lost 180 to 200 billion since November 21, more than anyone in history.
Oh, it's even worse. Thank you for whoever gave us that info. That's just, I would say it's tragic. I mean, he's still got millions down the back of the sofa, but what a colossal failure. I think it's because of the Tesla prices, isn't it? As well. So, DeSantis. Where
Yes,
will
so
this
from Florida, she's saying, as a former teacher, why teachers here don't walk out? Very good question. I think there's a problem with that too, because there have been big resignations by teachers and stuff. But one of DeSantis's ploys, or was this Texas? Correct me if I'm wrong. One of them suggested teaching vacancies could be filled by the wives of military serving members. Now, what's wrong with that sentence? Everything. A, they're not teachers. B, women aren't in the services. Wives of armed services. Everything about it gives away their whole agenda. So there's a big worry that they'll get less and less qualified teachers. But let's have a look.
Gosh, the cards. Who's ready to go? Lady
You go,
G,
Bodhi.
Well, you know what? I would go, Lena, but you know the last time that I went before you guys, someone wrote in the comments that I was being disgraceful and being, what did they say? They said I was being hubristic for going ahead before my guest.
Please go ahead. Please.
Yogi, may I invite you to read your cards while we are looking at ours? Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. Right. I know. Can you believe it? I mean, there you are. I don't normally share those things, so you don't want to, like they say, don't feed the trolls. But that's some of the douchebaggery, unfortunately, people deal in at times. Yeah. But, you know, public life.
It's amazing what they get their nose out of joint about. You know, it's such a minuscule little thing. Who cares who goes first? It doesn't matter.
Especially with what is going on in the world. But thank you. So there we are. I've got official permission now. So look, here we are. 8 of Pentacles. Now, isn't this funny? Because this is often can deal with what? Study, can't it? Study, research, all of that kind of stuff, as well as hard work. But we're talking about DeSantis here. So I would say DeSantis is working hard to sabotage education. Yeah? He's working hard to sabotage education. Hardworking teachers and students, you know, this is what this is all about. When we look at the next card that comes out, it's the Tower. So quite literally, we can see DeSantis is basically what? He's thrown a hand grenade into education, isn't it? If we just put that kind of imagery there together. I saw some footage where they literally had to put paper over the bookshelves. I mean, this is knowing what we know about fascism, knowing what's happened.
This is fascism 101, 102, on and on and on. This is a really important step for them.
It's just astonishing, isn't it? And that we are seeing this in our lifetimes again. I mean, I know I've said we're in that time of the 1930s, but it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing. Here in the middle of reading, I mean, we can take this on the literal level. There's a tremendous amount of emotion around this, of course, tremendous amount of emotion around this as well. But also as well, the Queen of Cups is also about creativity as well, creativity, intuition. And when you have people coming along sabotaging education, and it's almost like they're trying to block that natural intelligence, that the challenge that literature does, making us go within. Because when we actually read, it develops our empathy. It's actually proven. When we read stories and stuff like that in the brain, we actually start to put ourselves in the position of the characters. Yeah. If we look here, we've got the 8 of Cups walking away. Now, is this DeSantis away from this stance? Probably not. Yeah. This could be teachers that
or teachers walking out.
Yeah, it could be teachers walking out. I think there are going to be some, unfortunately, you know, very talented, very good teachers or whoever who are just like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore. Yeah, I think that's some, you know, especially, you know, creative teachers, you know, Queen of Cups. And then if we look here, we've got the 10 of Pentacles, which of course is about what? Establishment, big money, you know, those kind of things. Look, this is being funded. He's raising funds off of this. And there again, it's the moneyed elite. So going back to Karen's question of like, why are public schools being attacked? It's because the elites want everyone to become serfs, ignorant serfs. But that's my spin. Ladies, what do you have? Who would like to go next? Lena, Lady G?
Lady G?
Okay, fine. In the center of it, we have this opportunity to try to spin things. You know, it's the light in the dark in the light. Above it, we have the fishtails. And I get that, you know, coming from the place of government, rulership, whatever. But the whole feeling I get with this is that evangelical thing, barefoot and pregnant. And this is what they're trying to bring in.
Yeah.
Because we have justice that he's out there wanting to, you know, control it, do action, what they think justice should be. This is something that is being fought against, and it's the big Pandora's box. Going forward, again, it's all about the manipulation.
Yes.
Manipulating into, you know, this is what the woman should be. This is what she should hold to. And this is our, you know, you just get that cult, the cult of that evangelical barefoot and pregnant and take everything away and dumb everybody down.
Yeah. And Julie in the comments says, Satan's plan is to dumb down everyone so they're easier to manipulate and not informed. And I think we all agree on that. Just a wee digression for a moment, which is it was already happening in evangelical heartland. Like a lot of kids were homeschooled by parents. A lot of people went to little religious school. The world is flat. There are no dinosaurs. But that was the country, as a dynamic country, could absorb that population and still generate a somewhat educated population. This is about killing critical thinking. And Hogarth, you and I have had conversations about this. And so the cards, here we are, the hermit, like the hermit kingdom, you know, plotting and planning and just Florida is weird in many ways, but one of the ways is that we think of it as palm trees and fabulous food. And there's this huge conservative, insular, not looking out population who are being easily manipulated because they are in the dark. This has real world implications. Because if he starts it and he gets any momentum as president, the dumbing down of America will become an official policy of the country. Right? We must be the dumbest country on earth. That's our goal. We are setting out to do this, you know, like. Now, the light here with the sword of truth cutting through the crap card, as it's known colloquially in the trade. I think I would like to see parents actually suing Satan. You are not educating my children. By doing these things, you are depriving my child of a fundamental education, not a fundamentalist one. Once you've got teachers who can't teach science, for some reason they can't even teach maths, probably so they can't read the statistics, you know. But there is, I think that this needs to be legally challenged by parents en masse, a big class action, you know, 40,000 parents or something like that should go forward. I'm hoping that's what this is about, or there is some legal point that actually stops him interfering in education to this extent.
And Sharon Donnelly makes a very good point, and she said one of the last bastions of male supremacy. Yeah, so you know, shall we ask Shakespeare? Let's see what Shakespeare has to say about DeSantis. I'm not sure if we pulled on him before, but the bard is never boring with what he has to say. So, hey, Lady G, how about you call out to tell me when to stop, and then we'll see what the bard has to say about DeSantis before we move on. All right, you tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Wow. Oh my goodness. All right, okay.
I'm intrigued.
I have to take a deep breath. All right, I'll read you from page 1. We've got over 1,400 who've just joined us. This is what the bard, not my words, this is what the bard has to say about.
Don't blame me.
Yeah, unless I get some comments. All right. What the bard has to say is this: bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Yeah? That's from Hamlet. Yeah. And then if you look at, and then if you look at the next page, I think this might be even more pertinent, especially in regards to education. It says here, such is thy audacious wickedness, thy lewd, pestiferous, and dissensuous pranks, as very infants prattle of thy pride.
That sums up the man.
That, I think, encapsulates the whole thing. That's from Henry VI, Part 1, and I'll just read it one more time because I think that's even more. Such is thy audacious wickedness, which we know, thy lewd, pestiferous, and dissensuous pranks. Yeah, think of all ways that have been also as well trafficking the people around and stuff. As very infants prattle of thy pride. Wow.
The prattle of thy pride. That's him.
I mean, yeah. It's just, you know, the bard can just, well, there we are. That's why he's the bard, isn't he? He can, I think
he is the bard. And Teresa, I think, should have the last word on this. Suppressing knowledge has never really worked out in any century. Truth always finds a way.
Indeed. 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 Right. Are we ready, ladies, for the next question?
Absolutely.
All right. So, this is a fascinating one. So this is coming from Sharon Lee, or Leah. L-E-A is the last name. And she's what she's written here is seeing stories on Earth's inner that Earth's inner core may have stopped turning and could go into reverse. Study which suggests. Is this true? And what does this mean for us collectively? That's a blind read for me. I've got no idea. Have you heard about this, ladies? Allegedly, maybe the core is turning.
No. We'll give it a go.
Let's fly on this one. Let's give it a go. If it's you for the polarity of the Earth, though, which we don't really want to have it change too much, it does change from time to time, but hopefully not in our lifetime. Because we could have the North Pole be in the mid-Atlantic, and then we are all finished. All right. The turning of the inner core of the Earth. What can you tell us, Spirit, about that?
Inner
core of the Earth. Oh, and just for a bit of entertainment as well while we're pulling, and Lady G will know about this, but Lady G, do you remember that comment we got last week? And thank you for defending me, by the way, where one person who shall not be named wrote in to say that essentially I had seduced the both of you.
In what capacity? Does she know we live in different countries?
I know. And I was thinking to myself, what does she think that somehow my manly pheromones have traveled 17 times?
Everything about this is hilarious.
To bamboozle and seduce the both of you into being co-opted into my wicked scheme.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
It's like, you know, like I said, I won't say who the person is, but
Oh, yes.
you saw the comment.
We've been so overcome with the vapors, you know.
I
I don't
Did you not?
Sorry, I can't even look at the cards. I'm cracking up so much.
Did you not? So you just got to laugh, isn't it? You're like, wow.
You
wow,
gotta
how
have
did
a
you get
laugh.
there?
Okay.
All right, so the turning of the earth, what's going on? Is it a thing?
So I'm ready to go now.
So,
Yes, these last week when this was starting to change, I really had a to do. I was wondering if I'm getting brain cancer or something. I just had really strange visions and off center, and things were shifting. So at the center of it, we have this message of truth that's coming out, that this works together. Now, I think this is just the environment of, you know, Gaia, how these things work together, that it does go and change. Okay. It's going to a different direction. We have the liquid state, these things. Now, a lot of people have been worried about it. You know, oh my God, what's the message? But, you know, this is a natural action that takes place.
Well, for me, it's sort of, I wouldn't say these cards answer the question about movement of the Earth's core. It sort of went more into the climate change stuff as far as I'm concerned. But maybe what you were just talking about, Hoagie, with those very low temperatures. So we have this dichotomy. We have this dichotomy of things getting colder and other places getting warmer, and that is destabilizing. So there's no reason why it wouldn't be affected in as well as out. It's important not to feel powerless in this, but to really prepare yourself for change. And I'll just say something else about that in a minute. The Hierophant, i.e. government, etc., hasn't got the answers. We've lost 40 years of what we should be doing collectively as global citizens. Don't look to them for the answers. I think we have to be our own global warriors in the sense, but also within our own lives. And what I was struck by when you were just speaking, Lady G, about feeling all these wonky things, the astrologer Pam Gregory, who's very reassuring if you don't know her, she's an English astrologer, and she manages to pass on this huge information that could be really scary, and she makes you feel it's okay. Which is a gift. We'll just have a cup of tea because the world's ending. You know, she's just got that fabulous way about her. Love her. But what she's saying too is we, the collective, are being recalibrated for this new frequency that is operating. And I think that's what you're feeling and describing. And I think that's what a lot of people are feeling and describing. So to not be afraid of it, observe it and just roll with it and understand you're being recalibrated for the new frequency we need to operate at.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, we're going to feel those things. If you're sensitive, you may feel that, but it's a good thing in the end. So, you know, don't freak out about it. You know.
Yeah. Okay. So, what did I get? So if we look here, and I think as well, like what you're saying, like you're saying, Ina, as well. This is ultimately about humanity. Look, if the inner core of the earth changes and the polarity changes, there's diddly squat we can do about it anyway. Gaia is always infinitely more powerful than us little ants of human beings, and that's just how it is. But in regards to, look, this is in a way for me. I always think of, when we think of the ruling elite, shall we say, you know, the big persons of business and industry and stuff like that. Look, there's something obvious here. People aren't liking the choices. Yeah. Climate change is becoming increasingly obvious. And it doesn't just mean everything gets hot. It can mean the extremes. Everything can get very cold as well, just as they're experiencing.
Or wet or dry.
China. Exactly. The extremities increase. And they say the extremities have increased now by, I think it's over like 40 degrees or something like that. And thanks for that donation as well. That's just come in. Kathleen, thank you. So big industry and what have you is not liking the options on the table because people don't like to change. They want to keep pumping out the oil and they're just like, no, I don't like that option. No, I don't like that option, even though green and renewables is now cheaper. Yeah. So those arguments about it's too expensive is rubbish now. Yeah. It's just rubbish. We all know it's cheaper. In a way, it's almost like, look, it's like we're hostage to ourselves when I look at this, because look, with this card, it can be the victim card, but it's someone who can essentially has got themselves in a pickle, isn't it? So this is kind of us, humanity. We've got ourselves in the pickle and we're kind of like, this is not feeling so great. Unfortunately, these extremities in temperatures are going to cause what? Poverty, difficulties, financial issues, because, you know, crops are going to stop growing in one place or people keep getting displaced. Look what's just been happening with Florida with that big hurricane. There's so many people had to change.
And also paying your power bill. It's Pentecost.
Yes.
Hello.
Literally. Yeah, the bills are what? Going through the roof. But look, sword of truth is here, yeah, particularly from the younger generation. And again, like Lady G, you got this card as well. So you see how our cards are synchronizing. The younger generation are like, look, we've had enough of this. This isn't just Greta Thunberg, of course, which would be a very good example for this, but the youth in general really are aware of this. And maybe it's them that are going to save our bacon. I hope, yeah, I hope, because we have the celebration card coming out at the end. And then I pulled a clarifier and I got the Ace of Pentacles. So really, it's time to actually put money behind this now. These arguments of changing off fossil fuels is too expensive. No, follow the money. Yeah, and soon at some point, the money's going to start following this because it's just going to get too ridiculous. Anything else to add to that, ladies, before we get on to the next question?
Absolutely. I do have something. Now, for those that don't know, I went through the Kundalini journey, which completed in 1999. And so what happens, I don't know if this is going to show, it'll show your energy direction. Now, what happens when you complete, when it finishes, your energy will naturally stay balanced. To do 0 point balance is what I call it. It'll go one direction, and we'll give it a couple seconds. It should stop. And we're going to stop it here. And then it will reverse polarity and go the other direction.
Bloody hell.
And then, so what happens when I go to meditation with people? It'll go this direction, then it'll stop. It'll go the other directions, then it'll ground, and it'll go straight up. The energy goes straight up. So I think that that's what happens with Gaia as well. It's going one direction, then it'll go the other direction, and then it grounds and it goes up, and because we're going through another cycle.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Makes sense. That's a fabulous analogy as well. And of course, Saturn has just changed signs on the 17th of January. Remember, and I've been telling everyone, everything's going to speed up. I've been talking with my clients and also checking the comments. I had a really funky dream about AI. I had another one that I tried to share and it got kiboshed, but not by YouTube, by a more of a supernatural force. And I'll explain, you know, once I've been able to dialogue a bit more. But a lot of people have been having very intense dreams, feeling within them. Lady, you know, like Lady G was saying as well.
Can you start again? Yeah, you were stuck again for a second.
It was like a grounding moment.
Honestly, like, my electronics have just been really playing up, but I can feel the changes in my aura and stuff like that as well. So everyone is getting upgrades as well. Things are going to speed up, particularly with tech, AI, accountability of all sorts, everything, plus changes in government and all that stuff, which actually segues us neatly. Let's see. Yeah, we can squeeze this question in. Surf Mom will probably ask your question next week. So here, the GOP. Yeah, let's talk about the GOP. So for those that may not know already, but many of you will, that House Republicans have introduced a bill to create a national sales tax on everything of 30%.
30%.
Yeah.
I think. Now, let me just jump in briefly here. Hogarth, living in the UK, as you do usually, the VAT, which is this principle. Australia, under a Conservative government, introduced a GST, same thing, tax on goods and services, right? But they bought them in sneakily with little tiny numbers. We all knew they'd go up, but they've gone in with 30%. So why don't you just pay 30% more for everything? Awesome idea. I couldn't, but when I read the number, I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed. If they said
Just
3% or something, oh yeah, we get rid of taxation. We only pay 3% on 30%.
Yeah, 30%, and they also want to get rid of the IRS. So do you remember how I was saying that there'll be these new realities emerging? Saturn is the planet of reality, and he is also the planet of government. Many are being like, we're in the age of Aquarius, we're in the age of Aquarius, everything's going to be wonderful. Not absolutely everyone, but there's often too much focusing on what are the positives of the age of Aquarius. There is a shadow to every sign. The shadow of Aquarius is elitism and perversion, believe it or not. Yeah. So we could see these extremes. Saturn is government. We could see perverse policies trying to be enacted on what? The people. Aquarius is the people. Look at this policy. It's the absolute shadow end of it. Effectively, they want to tax everyone 30% of everything and then abolish the IRS of the billionaires. There it is, guys. Ugly as it is, they want serfdom, but let's pull on it. Let's see. Yeah. Whoever is a policy maker who has any shred of heart, and I've seen there's one guy, I can't remember where he's from, who said he's going to block this, and he said, over my dead body. But there should be more of
said the Republicans are great thinkers. Yeah, really, yeah.
It's astonishing, isn't it? It's just astonishing. So let's pull on the energy of that. Oh, I've got a jumper. We'll see. Where will this go? Where will this go? It's absurd. I mean, on one level, it's funny. On another level, though, it's a horror. I feel like it's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show combined with Mulholland Drive, combined with the Twilight Zone, combined with My Little Shop of Horrors. Do you know what I mean? It's this clownish, macabre. Oh.
Well.
What's gonna be?
Well, I'm ready to go.
Go.
So they've been working on this for a while. This is coming from the past. And of course, they're in the things of trying to manipulate things, and we are at a crossroads with it. That's what we've got at the center. So going into it, this is, again, their ideas about dark money, how they're going to move this forward. It's all about the money as usual. And this is what they're trying to do. But we have, when it comes to the control of this and putting it through, we have, this is coming to an end of a saga. And this is a long-term thing. But for me, the lilies represent a death. It's not going to work for them. We've got them trying to do the buying and the selling because that sounds really good for them. That's what they like. But it's a tower moment. It's going to blow up. And the last thing we have is, we have the fishtails. that they're doing with their government thing. They think we've got the House, but we've got those holdouts for it, investigations and holdouts when it comes to getting this through.
Wow. Lena, what do you have?
Oh, well, not surprisingly, just what version of crazy will they come up with next? It's like, this week we're going for this ridiculous idea, but I think we've got to even think of this in terms of the other ridiculous platforms. Okay, so in service of the wealthy, should we be surprised? No. They're desperately trying to work out how to spin this. We get together. Look, we make it sound good to people, but like I said, they blew it with the 30% number. People's expenses have gone through the roof in the last year or two for a whole host of reasons. So they're looking for a way to do it. People are not being fooled. They're very upset by the idea. It is a threatening idea to most people. And speaking of being, awake at night, but also held hostage, which is your word du jour, Hogarth, which is people are being treated as serfs. They feel like they've done enough in the last 30 years. They can stop pretending now and just say, this is a penal colony.
Yeah, extraordinary. All right, I will add my cards in, and then we'll bring the show to a close. The hour is whipped by already. Look who fell out of the deck. When I was shuffling, look at this. As you guys have seen, we have been shuffling the cards, but there is this regular thing. This card has come up. Putin, Duck L'Orange, and now the GOP. Yeah, she jumped out of the deck again. So again, this can also do with corruption. Yeah, when the card is reversed, it means selling out your values. Yeah, being bought, quite literally being bought. But they may have to walk away from this policy. I really hope, because if this goes through, it really is over. If this goes through, it's Banana Republic stuff. Do you know what I mean? Someone's going to have to walk away from it. It's just crazy, isn't it? What's the obstacle? Look, all the scheming. Yeah, this can normally be collaboration and stuff like that. But it can also
they're trying to make this work.
Yeah, this thing, scheming. McConnell, not McCarthy. This is also McCarthy as well, by the way. Yeah, the guy who sold out. The putana. Yeah, and. That's what he is politically. Look, back doors. What is he given away? What is he traded? In those back passages for the madness. But look, the tower comes. I don't think it's going to be able to hold water. It is a ridiculous thing. It would literally impoverish, 2/3 of the country overnight.
It's not even a conservative monetary policy. It's not as though it's different from what I might think the economy should do or anything. It's la-la-ville.
It's
absolutely crazy. Someone told me.
There is one thing that would be good about it if it stopped these billionaires and these millionaires from hiding assets and not paying anything in taxes, getting all these tax breaks. If they actually had to pay 30%, which they sometimes pay 0, that might be beneficial. But for the rest of us, low income,
money in the coffers. Sorry, Hogarth, go on. Yeah, I agree, lady.
Extraordinary. Yeah, it's just extraordinary. So we'll see if this holds water. I'd be very surprised if it does, because one of my clients was just telling me the other day, it's like $6 for eggs. Like if you get a dozen eggs or something, imagine that. That's already terrible. Imagine 30% on top of that. Oh, come on, come off it. Really? It's astonishing.
And however, wages haven't moved.
Exactly, wages haven't moved. But could this be America? Does she fight back? Yeah. I think America will fight back, but look, this is a nightmare. Yeah, dealing quite literally again. I'm just gonna give the literal interpretation on this card. This is a nightmare for the American people. And then I pulled some clarifiers. I got the 10 of Pentacles as well. So look, it's the big money. They just want to look after the big money, the billionaires, the donors, the contributors, that stuff. However, the sun comes out, yeah? Illumination. Hopefully it's going to burn off all of the dross. And then the outcome card is the Knight of Wands. So again, I think people are going to start speaking up. Let's hope that this thing just goes back to the abomination hole where it belongs. But what an outrage. This is outrageous, isn't it? Wouldn't you agree, ladies? This is utterly outrageous.
And where is the outrage? I'm hoping people get outraged. It's like they keep pushing the envelope. This could be one of those things that people really go, whoa.
Yeah. I'm sure even the most die-in-the-wool, rabid GOP person can see that this is not a good idea. And it's very plain, simple language. Everyone can understand an extra 30%. It's not.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I mean? So anyway, the time has gone, ladies. It has sprinted by as always, and we've already run over a little bit. Thank you for such your wonderful contributions, ladies. So Lady G, thank you so much. And Lena, it went in a flash. Thank you everyone as well for your donations. Over 1,500 of you joined us tonight. Wow, that's so we really appreciate that. And thank you for supporting the show and giving the comments. And even giving us sometimes even some absurd and quite funny comments. Not that I'm encouraging the negativity, but I just had to
No, we get very little negativity on this show. It's great.
It was just so.
You guys are great.
So we will leave it there, and we will join you. We'll join you all next. We'll join you all next week. I might put the show a little bit later or something. Well, we'll see, because I've got a friend.
Might be a little thing.
We'll see, but let's just assume it's the same time next week. If it changes, I'll let you guys know. And thank you again, ladies, for a great show. And thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you soon. All right. Bye-bye for now.
Take care, guys.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.